a great lady who has served the community for 27 years. I would like to introduce you to Miss Kathleen Walker from the New York City Park and Recreation. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up.
Just let me say thank you for giving me this opportunity to come forward and speak as the key for success. I do have inner feelings that allow me to know that I have did something successful. I don't own a business, but I do have my own home type of businesses. But I'm here to just tell you inspirational. As you know, and this is just my thing that I tell a lot of people, and I spoke to youth and different people from different locations. When we're born, we all get a birthday. And we all have an end date for whatever reason that you call, whatever that end date may be. But everybody has an end date when it's over. There's a dash in between that day you're born and the day you're gonna leave. That dash that everybody looks at, they look at that dash like that dash is not important. They look at that dash like it's just a line. So I'm gonna explain to you what that dash meant in my life, because I need you to understand that we look at that dash like it's just a line. I need you to look beyond that line and understand that that dash is your life right. It might be the same size, but it's different according to what you have did in your life. Now, when we say I've done community service for 27 years, that means I worked for the Parks Department for 27 years. But I'm a little older than that, technically, you know, I could say I'm 21. Then that wouldn't match with the 27. But during my time frame, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my history. I was born and raised in New York City Housing Authority with two parents who I'm fortunate enough to still have today, been married 53 years. My grandparents were married 63 years. So we have long-term relationships in our family because we believe in family foundation. When I was born and raised in New York City Housing Authority, and I'm sure Greg and a couple other people who's just as young as I am can compare to this, is that one of the things that we know back then is that there really wasn't too many co-ops. So housing was co-ops. And people used to come and they used to drop your milk in front of your door, and we lived in a mixed community, and you used to be able to leave your bike downstairs and ride your bike. It was a whole different type of setting, a whole different type of community. But something changed on the way. So as me growing up, most of my life in the Bronx, being a Bronx resident, I try to understand what was going on, and the foundation that I got from my family was, first of all, you keep your family, you do your education, and you need to know community service, because no key to success is going to be successful if you haven't given back to your community. So coming up through my years of school, I learned to be involved in different community groups. I learned to be involved in different spiritual groups. I learned to be a leader of my own. Another thing that I found out is that there was a time frame when all of a sudden we started losing our children, meaning our young adults that are here, some of them actually here today. We started losing some of them, that not these in particular, but I'm saying we started losing them. So quickly we point the finger and we'll say, you know what? You did this, you did that, and you did this. But I say we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We have to say what we did wrong. We have to admit that there was a time frame that we forgot to be this village. There was a time frame that we forgot to raise our children. So over, like every 10 years becomes a decade, things change in these different decades. Somewhere between the line in government, chancellors, different things that happen in our lives and in this country, we forgot about these children. And we could never forget about the youth, because as we know, the youth is our tomorrow. Now, I get involved in all kinds of community things. I've been on youth boards. I went to college in North Carolina. Another thing that I tend to focus on, and there's nothing wrong with New York State college. There's nothing wrong with going to a college in New York. But I also believe, and this is just me, people have to learn to come out of that box. You have to learn to branch out into different cultures. You have to learn to branch out into different events. You have to learn to branch out into different ethnic groups. You have to know that if you're in a room and it's Asian people, Caucasian people, African Americans, I don't care what they are, you have to know that you're able to fit into this group. You have to come outside of your box. And a lot of things that help is, to me, that I tell people all the time, go away to college. If you can't go away to college, then try to at least stay on campus. Come out of that box in your neighborhood. Come out of that box of where you was. Come out of that box so you can learn the upbringing of other people, because ignorance takes us down. Ignorance makes everybody afraid. It makes everybody unworthy, because if you don't know about the next person, you can't succeed. And succeeding is about knowing how to give back to the community. You cannot succeed if you don't just take it. You have to be able to give back. Now, some of the things that I have did in my life, and I did it because this is me natural. I did homeless drives. I gave toys to so many different people. I was on the committee that was part of Martin Luther King's birthday. I did that for 20 years and was actually there at the first legal holiday. I did a march on the Shell gas station in a rich rural area that's never been marched before, around the Shell gas station that was giving fuel to the militaries in South Africa. I've done a boycott for white grapes that was given to females in South Africa to make them sterile. So I have done a lot. I've done such a lot of things, and these things I've done it because this was my foundation. I believe that the things that you do in life, it's about education, it's about family, it's about success, and it's about patience. Don't think that you can't get this today or tomorrow, because patience is a virtue. It's something that has to take time. Now, I have my own travel business, which is called Entertainment Travel. It's an online business that I have just developed in the last 3 years. I'm also an associate of prepaid legal, which helps people with legal problems where they pay a fee, and every month they're able to have legal services available to them. What I say to succeed is you have to give. If you want to give, then you succeed. One thing works hand in hand. They don't work any other way, no matter form or fashion. The other thing is that I always tell people, if you look at a plan that you have in your house, what do you have to do to make this plan grow? What do we do to make this plan? What do we do?
Nurture.
We nurture it. There you go. And by nurturing, we give it water. That's what that particular plan needs. In this particular situation, we need to nurture our youth. We need to nurture our seniors. We need to nurture one another. And as you know, when a plant grows and it has a whole bunch of different branches. Because guess what? We're not the same. We're all going to grow a different way. But that's the part about learning to come out of that box. So to succeed, to me, is to give and to understand your community, but also to understand outside that. So I'm just here because I'm not here because, like I said, I own a business, but owning a business, don't get me wrong, what Greg did is phenomenal. He did what he had to do, and I give him definitely the hands up on that. But I want you to know there's nothing that you can't do. We got a new president coming in. It took a long time for this country to get there, and we're very happy about that. We're very proud about that. Another thing that I was saying is a lot of people don't pay attention to is that David Patterson, who's also the first African-American governor for New York, but he's also the first disabled governor in the whole United States. Don't think that there's nothing regardless of your disability. This man is legally blind. I don't care what, no matter how he got in there, before he was governor, he was attorney general with that same disability. So I need you to realize no matter what it is that you think you can do, no matter what it is that you want, if you want the Prada, if you want the Gucci, if you want the Louis Vuitton, if you want all that good stuff, you can have it. All you gotta do is get to work. There's nothing that you can do if you put your mind to it. So that's how I feel successful.